What if I told you there was a way you could get a HELOC approved in 5 days? Jonathan from Convoy Home Loans. What are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm.
been really, really popular with a lot of our clients because the way that it works, it's
Home equity line of credit, aka HELOCs. What if I told you there was a way you could get a HELOC approved in 5 days? Estimate 5 days, 5 business days. Let's say that. Let's take out Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna have this discussion with the one and only Jonathan from Convoy Home Loans. Man, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, but dude, 5 days to approve a HELOC? What are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it I think a month ago or something, but it's
Mhm.
been really, really popular with a lot of our clients because um the way that it works, it's basically almost an automated system that is
Okay.
basically stated income. So, it'll ask for potentially, a link to the IRS or something like that. But it's essentially the application is just a soft pull. It just has you type in what your income should be on a gross basis. Obviously, you're not lying. You're putting in
Mhm.
your gross income instead
Yep.
of a net income.
Right.
And then you're linking up a bank account, and then essentially it'll tell you within 10 minutes whether you're approved or not. And with a lot of clients, it immediately, if it gets approved, the next step is they select, right, what option they want,
Mm.
and it hasn't actually been that bad right now. Like on a primary, or excuse me, on an investment HELOC, the most recent one that I'm having a client sign this morning, he got a $250,000 line at 11.5%. So
Yeah, and let's make sure people know what a line is versus a
yeah,
loan. So what is a 250K line for this client signing this morning? What does that
yeah.
mean?
So a line is different from a loan because a line is revolving. So what that means is it works almost like a credit card tied to your house. That's the easiest way I've been explaining it to people, right?
Yeah.
You use it, pay it back, use it, pay it back. So because of that, I think the best way to get it done is if you want to have the flexibility, even though it's variable, the rate's variable because it's revolving. But
Mhm.
if you want to have the flexibility to be able to pay it back and reuse the line for like a 10-year period, the line's the way to go. If you want a 30-year fixed option, then you can get a second loan. But
Mhm.
what we're talking about in particular is the line of credit, which is the stated income line of credit. And that's the thing that's been super popular over the last like 2, 3 months. We've been seeing a lot of people come in. They're closing within mostly within 2 to 3 business days. We say 5 business days, but most of them I'm seeing like they do it, underwrite it, click, 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 and then it's like, hey, notary's going to be out there tomorrow.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So let's also talk about the variables around the line. Are these lines like 1 year, then they review them? Are they 5 years? What's the duration?
So it's a 30-year line, 30-year no,
Okay.
yeah, 30-year loan, 10-year is the draw period. And then there's
Oh,
options for
wow.
less. So if the client wants, and this is actually kind of weird because it gives a lot of power to the client itself because it's an automated system. They get to select, hey, I actually want only a 15-year line, it's a less of a rate, or a
Right.
20-year line, less of a rate. 3-year draw, less of a rate, so you have the flexibility to decide what you want to do. And especially with this high rate environment, which we all know eventually has to
Mhm.
come down, right?
Yeah.
We don't know when it's going to be, but eventually it has to come down. Once that comes down, you can, either consolidate it or use another property to pay it off, whatever it is. But it gives them the flexibility at that point. 30 years is the max. I've seen it
Mm.
go as low as 15, 10 years. But
Okay.
obviously, what I recommend is, like, people have the misconception that, oh, the rate is like a 0.5% higher on a 30-year versus a 15-year. I'm like, just go the 30-year
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, you're not paying for it if you're not using it. And
Right.
also, two, worst case scenario, you have the line open for 30 years, or you can draw from it from 10 years versus being
Right.
only to draw from it from 3 to 5 years. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
So I know you can't say because every loan is different, every situation is different. What is the cost for something like that? Are we talking 1 or 2 points? Like in this example, 250 grand. Is it a couple of points or what are we talking?
So the client has the option of that too, but
Okay.
typically average is about 2 points.
Yeah,
So
that's what I would think.
on the line though, so it's not even that, like,
Yeah,
not that
it's on the
much,
line.
right?
Yeah,
So
it's
if it's like
yeah,
$150,000 line, it's like, three
three
thousand.
grand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
and it's
it's not.
wrapped in to the
Yeah,
initial draw, and you just pay it back. It's not really that big of a deal.
no, I
Yeah,
totally get it. I totally get it.
yeah.
These are again state income HELOCs. Now, we talked about this on an investment loan. Does the same thing exist for primary or owner occ, or is that different?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The reason I brought up investment is because that's been the most popular because
Sure.
investment HELOCs are still rare, right? And
Yeah.
not a lot of people are doing them, but we can do them if it's like a single family, in one of the states that we're licensed in,
Sure.
unfortunately. But
Okay.
single family, condo, townhome, no
Awesome.
multifamily for the stated one. And then primary we can do as well. If your credit's like amazing, leverage is low. Like I said,
Mhm.
this morning, my client's signing at 11.5 starting on investment. On primary, it's more like, high nine, low mid 10. I mean, maybe, but
Yeah.
I try not to put too much emphasis on the rate
Yeah.
because it's, again, revolving. So it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
nobody knows what's going to happen. And plus, it's stated income. So it's like you never really had to provide me tax returns, income documents, all that. So,
Yeah.
um, it shouldn't really be that different. But
Very
yeah, I
cool.
mean that primary is available, so is investment. And then in regards to stated income, what's also, this is kind of segueing into another
Mhm.
product, but also been popular is like we talked about it months ago, but like the no income, no credit type program that's coming back on the market, because the rates have been so high. So the leverage on these things are kind of much lower. So like, for a primary residence, for example, you have to put down 30% up to 7.5 million.
Mhm.
Um, for anything 1 to 4 unit wise, but it's no income. You just need to
Oh,
have
wow.
the asset in the account and the rate is mid six.
Wow.
So it's like it's a program that still allows you to buy, a
Yeah.
house without using W-2 income, traditional income.
Mhm.
And if as long as you have the assets to cover, reserves and whatnot, you're good on it.
You're good. Yeah. Yeah. This is why Convoy Home Loans is on the channel every week, because again, you are constantly evaluating the environment. You're looking for things that meet a need. If somebody wanted to reach out to you about a deal or their situation, how would they do that?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you came from ORaaT.
Coming from ORaaT's a big deal, folks. If you don't tell them, I can't promise you who you're going to get. But if you tell them, you get Dustin and or Jonathan. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.